DT is calling from England, and while we try and get Promise's audio back, DT, you're a theist who says existence of God is the only logical position. Well, we know that's not true, but what's your case for that? How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Right. So I'm a Muslim, so I believe in God, and I believe it's logical to believe in the existence of God because there are a few logical reasonings like the fine-tuning argument or the
So
intelligent.
DT. Just for clarity,
yeah.
Instead of saying there's a logical reason, can we say there's a rational reason? There's rational warrant? Because logical, we talked about earlier the notion that logical possibility is absolutely useless, and you not only can you have reasoned positions that are ultimately wrong, but you can definitely have logical positions that are ultimately wrong, because logic is just about, do you accept the premises and is it in a valid structure? So you think, if I'm understanding, please, if I'm misunderstanding, correct me, you're saying there are rational reasons that are based on evidence to believe there's a God.
I mean, there is evidence. I'll show you my evidence of why I believe in a specific God, but I'm just telling you, logically, it only makes sense that God exists. Now, what definition of God?
Are you saying, okay, since you can't answer the question that I asked, are you saying that it is logically impossible for there to not be a God?
Yes.
How do you demonstrate that?
Right. So I think it's common knowledge that something can come out of nothing. Sorry, nothing.
No, DT. No, DT. No, DT. No? It's not, and you don't get to cite common knowledge.
Why not?
Because the majority of people believe in a God, and the majority of people couldn't describe rationality and epistemology in any useful way at all. What is common knowledge is completely unimpressive and may not be rational or true. If you want to say that it is logically necessary that no God exists, or that God, it is logically necessary for God to exist, you don't get to cite popular opinions, because that's not logical necessity. So if you're going to present a case that it is that God is a logical necessity, you need to present an argument that has premises that lead to a conclusion. Therefore, God is logically necessary.
Right. Firstly, maybe you're more eloquent than me. I'm not. So maybe if you're understanding me, apologies for that. Secondly, again, this something can come out of nothing. This is an agreed fact. That is why I was saying it's common.
So first of all, DT, that's not necessarily true, and there's been no demonstration that any model has something coming out of nothing, except for the God model suggests, in many versions of the God model, not all of them, suggest creation ex nihilo, that God created out of nothing. And so that is something from nothing.
Explain that?
Hang on. You'll get the explanation I'm pretty sure you're getting ready to ask for. But in cosmology, we don't have a way to investigate prior to the Planck time. At no point in physics is there an assertion that once there was nothing and now there is something. The only thing we can say with physics is that something, which may or may not have come into existence or may or may not have always existed, we don't know, we don't have any way to investigate it, that something changed and expanded. That's all we can say.
Okay. And
so something from nothing is irrelevant.
Why is it irrelevant?
Because I'm not asserting that something ever came from nothing. You may not be, but some people who are advocating for God are claiming that something came from nothing. But my position is not that something came from nothing. It is irrelevant to point out that you don't think something can come from nothing. I have never claimed it did, and science isn't claiming it did.
So do you not think we should use some kind of rationale, some kind of logic to come to conclusions I'll give you an example.
Yeah,
For instance,
no, I don't need an example. I'm literally giving you the examples of using rationality and pointing out fallacies and flaws and premises that aren't true. And then you're asking me, do I not think that we should use rationality? I'm literally doing it. I am taking your argument and showing which premises are untrue and which premises are irrelevant. That's rational argument.
Which is not, again, sorry, probably your English is way more sophisticated than that I can comprehend. So if you can maybe break down it a bit in simpler words, probably will help me out.
Do you know how the universe came to expand? Wait, okay, here, let me back up. Do you agree that the universe expanded in something similar to what is described by Big Bang cosmology?
Yes, I do agree with that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what state the universe was in just before that expansion?
No.
Neither do I. And all I can say is our ability to investigate stops at the Planck time. I can't go back further than that. But at no point in the scientific model that I accept is there nothing. And so saying something can't come from nothing is not in any way a rebuttal to my position or any position that doesn't include a God.
Right. I agree with that. So something would have caused that expansion, isn't it? Not necessarily God, but something would have caused it. Can we agree on that?
No. And I get that that's confusing, but I will try to do this really quickly. I would agree that we intuit that there was a cause, but causality is necessarily temporal. A precedes B, A contributes to B, B is the effect of A. That means causality only happens within time. Big Bang cosmology has time as we experience it, beginning at the instant of expansion. And so prior to that, doesn't even make sense. There was no time before that. And so there was no time for there to be causality. So what we know is an expansion occurred, whether or not it was an external cause, an internal cause, or completely uncaused, because A-type time and B-type time are still disputed. But there's also this notion of simultaneous causality. And we don't know, we don't have any way to investigate that moment, which is why you don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. And so as uncomfortable as it is, we have to say, I don't know. And while intuitively we would presume there's a cause because that's how it works within time, we cannot take what happens within space-time and apply it to outside of space-time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. So you're saying that causality is always dependent on something else, but can there be an infinite regress of dependent beings? Is that logically?
Oh, so again, we're shifting to an argument from contingency, and you're going to try to do the
you said,
hang on. Would you stop? Would you stop? I'm fucking explaining this to the audience, and I'm trying to make sure that I get verification
I'm being
from you.
Polite, and I'm trying to be nice, and I'm being polite.
I'm trying to be nice too, and if you had a fucking clue, you'd have figured that out and shut your mouth when I told you to. Are we going to do this? Or are you going to listen? That was a question. Okay.
I'm listening.
I'm trying to explain to the audience what we're talking about for the many people out there who may not know. And when I'm done, I'm going to give you the option to say, no, that's not quite what I was talking about. But instead, you decided to interrupt in order to interject something else. So I've already forgotten where we were. Congratulations. You managed to sneak one past everybody by talking about how nice you're trying to be. What's your next point?
So you were clarifying something.
I don't remember what I was clarifying because you fucking interrupted me.
You said causality is always dependent on something else. That's why I said, can there always be? That's why I said
you brought up a version of the argument. You brought up a version of the argument from contingency. You're talking about something always being contingent on others. This is the same problem as the causality problem, in that contingency is also, in the sense of causality, temporal. But if the universe, if the substance of the universe always existed in some spot, in some fashion, and is not contingent on anything, the only thing that might be contingent is whatever caused the expansion, if there was a cause. Otherwise, contingency breaks down there as well.
There is one contingency.
What?
There has to be one contingency.
What's God contingent on?
Nothing. That's the definition of
okay.
God.
So you're perfectly fine accepting that there's something that's non-contingent. You just prefer to accept something that you can't prove or investigate, something that's outside of space-time, as the non-contingent thing. And I'm saying I don't know how to say that the universe is actually not non-contingent.
So you can't prove the universe is not contingent. I'm saying there is, by definition, something that is
you can't prove the universe. You
can't
prove the universe is contingent. If you're going to tell me what I can't prove about it not being contingent, and you can prove that it is contingent, then you've come up with a useless attempt at a rebuttal that's not a rebuttal. I'm saying I cannot conclude that the universe is contingent because I have no way to verify that. I definitely can't conclude that there's a God that exists that I can't test and verify that is the actual non-contingent thing. And it is absolutely what you're trying to do, is to say there must be something that is not contingent, and I don't like it being the universe. I'm not convinced the universe could possibly be non-contingent, so I'm going to invent a being that is non-contingent. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not rational.
So something that has a beginning and an end, can that be contingent? Can that be non-contingent?
Well, you haven't demonstrated that the universe had a beginning.
You some time ago said the universe had a beginning to someone else, and scientists have concluded that
the universe. No, I'm sorry. I said, and have consistently said, that we have no idea because we can't investigate prior to the Planck time, and you fucking agreed with that. We established that as the limit of our ability to investigate. You are the one who's going beyond our limit of our ability to investigate and asserting things about the universe that you have not demonstrated, and I don't know how you could demonstrate. If you could demonstrate them, I would accept them. But you haven't, and neither is anybody else.
So what I'm saying is,
I'm finally back.
Yay. Sorry, JT, we had a tech problem, or DT, we had a tech problem. We fixed it. What were you saying?
What I'm saying is, because the universe has a design, there has to be a designer, and the designer has to be independent, non-contingent on everything else.
DT. Yeah. No. You've gone from causality to contingency, and now you've gone to design. You've skipped past acknowledging any problem with anything you've said before, and you've just bounced from one argument to another to another. The universe may have the appearance of design in some case, but do you know how we tell the difference between something, how we tell if something is designed?
How is that?
We have evidence for the design. We determine design not because of complexity or anything like that, but because here we have examples of X occurring naturally, and we have examples of Y being the result of design. We have one universe. All of the evidence points to it happening naturally. All of the laws of physics within that universe are natural, and they dictate how things occur naturally in there. There is no room left to posit a design. And how would you demonstrate the universe is designed? What's it designed for?
It's designed for existence for everything. Everything has a unique pattern. Everything has a unique design.
Okay. How do you know that it's designed for the existence of everything and not merely undesigned and everything exists here because it can?
Because when we see the design, visual.
No. So you see an appearance of design. My question is, how do you tell if it's actually designed? You're saying the universe is designed for everything, and yet the appearance of the universe is both consistent with a universe that was designed for everything that's in it, and it's also consistent with a universe that was undesigned but can contain all of the things that are in it. How do you tell the difference between those two scenarios?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Okay, here's the universe. The universe, the facts about the universe are exactly what we would expect from a universe that was designed to be this way. And it's also exactly what we would expect if the universe was undesigned and can be this way. Since those two scenarios are logically possible, how do you tell which of them is correct?
You're putting a hypothetical question to me, right? I haven't seen the other scenario. What I'm seeing is, if I'm seeing the universe right now, the other is a hypothetical situation. We don't know if we would have existed any other way.
No, there is no hypothetical here. The universe contains everything that it does in both of those scenarios. What we're getting to is, why does it contain that? And the facts of the universe are that it contains everything that you would expect if it was designed to contain those things. And it also contains what you would expect if it wasn't designed but was capable of containing those things. And so what we're talking about is not the hypothetical of what's in the universe. We're talking about two probable explanations for that. One is that it was designed to be this way, and the other one is that it was not designed but can be this way. How do you tell the difference between those two?
You are saying you cannot see design in the universe. You cannot see a pattern.
Okay, DT. I did not say that you cannot see design in the universe. I acknowledge that you can see the appearance of design, and sometimes people infer design. Please stop misstating what I've said and just answer the fucking question. Here's a universe. Okay, let's make it simple. Here's a box. This box contains everything that's in this box. It might contain everything in this box because it was designed to contain everything that's in this box. And it might contain what's in this box because it wasn't designed for those things, but can have those things. Which one is the correct answer? Was this box designed to contain the things that are in it, or was it not designed for that and yet contains those things because it can?
It can be either one.
No, only one of those two is going to be true. It can't. So the fact that you don't know which one is true, it was definitely either designed for that or not designed for that. Those are the only two options, and they are mutually exclusive. They cannot both be true. So which one is true?
It has to be the first one because it cannot be any other way.
Okay. I appreciate your consistency, even if you're consistently dishonest about evaluating this.
How am I dishonest?
But the fact you are dishonest because you're asserting that this fucking box had to be intentionally designed to specifically contain the things that are within it. I can tell you it was not specifically designed for the things that were contained in it. And you're saying it necessarily must be the case. That's because you are trying to remain consistent with your same flawed reasoning that led to your conclusion that the universe is designed. On that note,
Okay,
we have
can I
run
ask you
completely
something?
out of time.
Okay,
No, you can't ask me a thing. You can't ask me a thing. We have run
So
completely
you
out of
want to
time.
conclude on your
I
own
have
record then?
no. I do. When I say you can't ask me anything, shut your fucking mouth. We have run completely out of time, and I want to spend no more time with people who, when walked up to the edge of the obvious answer, will see and expose the fallacy in their thinking that they're using in another area. And instead of even having any hope of seeing the error of their ways, would prefer to compound that error by extending their inferred design that they can't demonstrate about the universe and asserting that it is necessarily the case for a fucking wooden box that the creator of had no clue what I would fucking put into it. Your position is ridiculous. There are people who are saying you were snickering, and so they doubt your authenticity. I don't necessarily know if I have any reason to doubt your authenticity, but we're done. Promise. I'm so glad you got your voice back, but
sorry. I was scrambling over here. I think my mic overheated because I didn't do anything to bring it back. So just kept messing with it.
Well, I tried to maintain my zen without you. It's hard. I need you
I wasn't
here.
maintaining my zen over here, frantically trying to deal with tech issues, which is my worst nightmare, other than somebody trying to act like they're not about to make the Kalam argument, which is what I feel like was happening there, but we never really got to hear much information. So,
well, maybe DT and some of the others who didn't fare as well with you and I, maybe they would like to call in this evening to the Sunday Show After Dark, which airs right here on the same channel beginning at 7 Central.
Eric, do you want to learn how to Mongolian throat sing? Check this out.
No, I don't.
Try.
No, keep that shit to yourself. Don't hear it.
Anyway, thanks for watching that clip. Patreon.com/calltheline is where you could support us. And maybe you should subscribe and like the video because it was a killer video. Or maybe it wasn't. Was it a Forrest video? If this was a Forrest video, you don't have to click like. If it was an Eric video, go ahead and click dislike.